Hello and welcome to Fundy Fortunes. I am Natalie and I am an empath and an intuitive card reader. First off, just very quickly before we get right into the reading, I'd like to say thank you for all the comments and all the shares and likes. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. It's that little subscribe button underneath the window. And it's always free. All it's there for is so the next time that I upload a new video, you will get a email notification saying that I've done so. The information is all below in the description box that you need. My address to my website is there, and my email address as well is there. On the website, you'll find it's just a one-page deal. You'll see the videos repeated are automatically posted there that are posted here on YouTube. And there's just one paragraph, and it's directly under Crow Island photograph when you first log on. You scroll down. There's a paragraph that kind of describes everything right there. You scroll down a little bit further, and being told to kind of should be doing this. The other readers are doing it as well. Promoting the donate button. There is a donate button in the right-hand side of your scroll down. You see the little credit card icons and the donate button. That's also open to e-transfers as well. I prefer e-transfers. They're just easier. But what it's there for, it's like I make a little side living at home doing private readings online and in my home. I prefer to do them online. It's just a lot easier that way. But any money I make for that is livelihood. That's what keeps the wolf from the door. That's what helps to pay the bills. That's what literally keeps the food and our needs met. The donate button, any money goes through the donate button. Should anybody feel inclined to donate, if you're donating to the channel Fundy Fortunes, and the money gets put back into the channel. In reference to that, things like I've been needing a new standalone webcam. That's at the top of my list. This is an online webcam that I use, and it's extremely unstable. It doesn't have little perks like pause, so if I cough or sneeze, I can't hit the pause button and then pick up where I left off. It just makes it a lot more work than it needs to be, and there's enough work involved. There's a lot of work involved with this, but it's work that I love and enjoy. I'm not complaining about that. Things like my laptop is probably 8 or 9 years old. It's an antique now in the world of computers. It doesn't work the best. I just want to deliver a better quality to the viewers. Easier on the eyes, easier on the ears. The rest of the money would go into new decks of cards to keep things fresh and alive. Books to educate myself a little bit further on what it is that I do. That's where the money would go to. So enough of that. I hate doing that this part of it. I really do. So that's pretty much it. So what I've done, I've already dealt out the cards using the Oceanic Tarot. This is a tarot deck, specifically for Fundy Fortunes and all online readings. This is what I use for the general readings. And I drew one significator card. Last night I called it an instigator. Cracked myself up. I think that's funny. Funny as all get out. The second card that I drew, that is a significator card, and it is significant to the overall reading. It comes to play. Okay, so there's the book that goes just called Tarot. All right. And I'm allergic to the dust coming off of this. I've cleaned it, and I clean it, and it doesn't seem like I get these little... See, if I had a pause button, I could hit that, and you guys wouldn't have to listen to this horrible cough. And then I start getting stuffed up, and I don't have allergies like that, seasonal ones, and this type of thing. Anyway, the very first card, let's get to it. We're 4 minutes in, and I haven't done anything yet but yak. That's what I do best. The first card that I drew for you, this is, by the way, a general reading for all 12 signs of the Zodiac for tomorrow, for June 14th, 2016. All 12 signs. All right, this is a general reading. It may apply to you. It may not resonate with you at all, and parts of it may resonate with you. Okay, so the very first card was the Knight of Swords, and he represents drama. Drama. The Knight of Swords. He is action-driven. He's a whirlwind of drama, confrontation, unexpected blocks in relationships, arguments, You may have a fight on your hands. You cannot avoid the upheavals that it will bring. On the upside, you will know exactly what and whom you are dealing with. The advice of this card is to try to avoid the drama. Do not take a setback personally. And this is their fight and not yours. The keywords are stress, unstoppable force, manipulation, immaturity, and instability. That's not somebody we look forward to dealing with every day now, is it? For some of you, this will be, how can I say, this might actually happen and be an actual person for you tomorrow. Some of you may have to deal with that, all right? For other things, this is you, okay? For other people, and for others, this as I said, it's an actual person. You may have to deal with trying to pull you into some stuff you really don't want anything to do with. Okay, so the second card I pulled for you, the Star, and she's beautiful, and she represents hope. Hope. And you can see her there reaching for the rays of sun, the rays of hope, and she's ready to receive. The star is a symbol of hope, intuitive lessons learned from hardships and heartache, gaining hope, trust, protection from the universe. The star guides you to happier times and reveals growth. The star tells you you are on the right path and that all will be fine. The advice of this card is to follow your heart, respect your inner knowing, trust the universe will bring you what you need as you need it. The keywords are dreams, intuition, healing, rebirth, and the best part, wishes. Wishes. Okay. The third card is 4 Cups. No, I don't like this word because I don't use it. Boredom. Boredom, boredom, boredom. The advice is look for inspiration. Renew your faith, and life will bring you what you need. When 4 arrives, you're looking better, but you're feeling dissatisfied. No belief of a better love or job. You'll retreat into your shell. The keywords are stagnant, despondent, disillusionment, self-protection, need for change, rigidity, and stubbornness. And the significator card that I drew for you, the Save Me. The Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands. Okay? And I get the book out for the Eight of Wands. Let's see. I've already marked it for time's sake. Okay. The Wands, just to touch on the base of the suit. The suit of Wands stands for creative integrity. That's interesting. Security, positive relationships, and an inner development. The reverse is disrupted work, laziness, ignorance, and romantic jealousy. So that's in there because I did pull it and it was reversed. The specific card itself, the 8, this card often represents a type of cathartic discussion which ends confusion. The Eight of Wands always brings a new surge of energy, freshness when it appears. It often signals entry into a new phase or project, one which will stand a great chance of success. So the significator overrides, especially the 4 of Cups, okay, where we have boredom. This card, Eight of Wands, will override this one. It will lessen the degree of the power behind this one. Boredom, looking for inspiration, renewing your faith in life will bring you what you need. There's advice of the card. And the 4 arrives, you're looking for better, but you're feeling dissatisfied, no belief of a better love, job, or anything that surrounds and encompasses your personal life. Retreating into the shell, into a shell, that would be your own shell metaphorically, pulling into yourself, shutting others out. Keywords are stagnant, despondent, disillusionment, self-protection, need for change, rigidity, and stubbornness. Okay? Sometimes, I'm being nudged to tell you that sometimes we are our own worst enemy. You're bored? Really? truly are you bored, then you do something about it. You don't wait for other people to lift those feelings from you. These are things that you have to do yourself. Okay? These are things that you're in control of. These are things that sometimes we get caught up in things. And when we get caught up in things in our daily life, in our job, our creative projects, maybe something that we're working on, something that is our own thing that we have, maybe your routine of the day. We could be talking about things just as simple as that, and we think that we've got everything just in place and everything is where we want it, and we say, "There, job done." It's like building a house. Once it's done, right? Once the work's finished, the house is up, erect, and all the rooms are in, the walls are up, and the windows are in, the furniture's being moved in. You're living in the house, and you say, that took me 2 years to build that house, and I'm glad that it's finished, it's over with. I don't want to see another hammer or hear another nail being driven undone. That's it. I'm so glad. No. The best thing we can do for ourselves, Spirit is pushing this. And we have to leave the doors open and be realistic here. The work is only done temporarily. There's going to be upkeep down the road. That goes right across the board for any projects, your jobs. You think you go into work every day and you think this is what I do. I know my job well, inside out, upside down. So when I go to work, I'm prepared. I know what the day's going to bring. But here's the thing: we get this illusion when all of a sudden one day we go in, lo and behold, somebody has changed something. New rules are being implemented. Excuse me, please. Um, we don't like the change. We feel disillusioned. Um, maybe you're at a place of work. It's 9 to 5, and they keep banker's hours. Now all of a sudden, you go into work on Tuesday, and there's a memo, and the memo says from now on we're working half days on Saturday, which has thrown you completely for a loop. Why? You're thinking why, and you're overwhelmed by it because there was no warning. This is going to change things up. You don't want to work Saturdays. That's one thing you liked about this job was it was 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and you could plan your days out and plan your weekends out. And now that's going to change. When a company starts working Saturdays, you know there's going to be shift rotations. You may not work every Saturday, or they may have it that you work 3 in a row and 1 off. So everybody gets a better break when the break comes. Somebody's going to be getting 3 weekends in a row off. That kind of a thing. This isn't an all bad reading. It's just a fluff of life that I'm feeling from these cards, and I'm starting to feel the heat now, so we're getting a little bit of fire going here. These things for tomorrow are everyday realities that we have to deal with. These are the little irks and perks, okay? So if you're bored with what you do, well, you said you were bored. You put it out there to the universe. I'm so bored. I'm really, really bored. And you know what happens? The universe goes, really? Let's change things up a bit for you tomorrow, Tuesday morning, when you go into work. Careful what you say. Do you ever notice that? It's like you haven't thought of somebody in 25 or 30 years, and for some reason they flash through your mind. And within hours of the very next day, it's within hours, a 24-hour period, you will literally run into that person. I've had that happen to me 30 years, and for some reason they popped into my head. And the very next afternoon, I was in a drugstore getting a prescription, and there they were. Blew me away. But that's what it's like. You've got to be careful of your thoughts because thoughts become things. You have more power for manifestation than you believe you do. You really do. Same thing. You're thinking of somebody and the phone rings, and it hasn't somebody you haven't heard from in, let's say, 3 months. Like, we're not talking somebody calling that you spoke to yesterday, or or anything like that. These are unusual circumstances. They're little niggles, I call them, that happen in the mind, and for some reason, it's your intuition is picking up. Your intuition is nudging you, and it's telling you you're going to run into this person, or this is going to happen, or that, because you thought, I am so bored with my job. And then when change comes, you're bewildered and you're disillusioned and you feel overwhelmed and you start thinking, I need a better life. I need to believe there's better. Um, and you become stagnant because you feel your life is stagnant. You become despondent and disillusioned. Nobody can seem to smooth down the edges as they're petting your ego and petting your feelings and saying, there, dear. There. You go into your shell because you don't want none of that. And you think, I would have been happy doing this job for the next 25 years and I had to go change it up. Therefore, you're disillusioned. No heads up on it, no nothing. There's the memo. Take it and go. The universe heard what you were saying. I'm so bored. Well, let's just change things up a bit. What's going to make a big impact in your day? It's going to kind of shift that boredom into another block, into another spot somewhere. Now, all of a sudden, boredom's the furthest thing from your mind. And when we get too comfortable in our place in life, we become very rigid. We become very stubborn because we like what is familiar. For the most part, most people do. Some people hate that. I know people like that. They can't stand it. They want change, and they want it all the time. So they're always up to something or something on the go. So there's a lot of people that are like that are out there. Um, but the cards tonight are pointing to those of you in the Zodiac that are feeling this way. And yes, oh yes, oh yes, there are some of you out there that are feeling this way. Stop being so stubborn. Retreat into your shell for a while till you absorb the changes. Okay? You didn't want to be bored anymore, so now you're not. It is what it is. You know? Um, but this was supposed to happen. The cards are saying this was supposed to happen anyway. They were waiting for the right moment to lay it on you because when this card shows up, it points to the fact, to begin with, before the break in the boredom, that you were already looking for change. One thing about being bored, it's not all bad. It means we do need to change. We need to change things up just a little bit. We need to change things up a whole lot. For some of us, a little bit's just not enough. Some of us need a major life change, although I don't feel that that's going to happen so much for you tomorrow. It is Tuesday after all. It's a sister of Monday. So, um, you're not going to like the sudden change, even though this is what you really needed and what you wanted. In the bigger picture, down the road, this, number 4, brings you change when you need it. You're going to be glad that it popped up and it showed up. Okay, so this isn't a bad card per se. It's not a bad message from Spirit, Masters of the Universe, and Masters of the natural order of the world. They're just telling you this is what you really wanted. So they brought it in when they thought you could handle it. Thing is, you're feeling a little bit blindsided by it. That's okay. It's okay. So go into your shell, lick your wounds, and say, I don't like this changing. I don't want this changing. I don't want. You know what? The change is going to be the best thing for you in the bigger picture. Card says so. Neener. It's coming. And you will settle into it. And in a lot of ways, it's going to be good. You may miss the old ways to a point. But in the bigger picture, it's going to be a good thing. Now, the star is a symbol of hope, and it shows your intuitiveness, and it shows you're going to learn lessons from hardship and from heartache. This is for some of you tomorrow. Some of you, it's not all about work and projects um, and things along with practical things along that nature. It's just not going to be about that. Um, for some of you, it's you're coming from a broken heart and you're gaining hope. You need to trust that there is protection from the universe. And the star guides you to happier times, and it reveals growth as well. The star tells you we're on the right path and that all will be fine. All will be fine. You are on the right path. Follow your heart. Respect your intuition and your inner knowing, because we all have that inside voice that tells us what's what. We just need to sharpen and hone the listening skills. Trust that the universe is going to bring you just what you need. You need to have trust. Keywords are dreams, intuition, healing, rebirth, and don't we all love the word wishes? Just be careful what you wish for. When you say I'm bored, I wish something would happen. I wish I wasn't bored. Gee, golly gee, kazam, there it is. Bazinga. There it is. There's your change, be it for good or bad. Some of you have been stuck in a rut. Get yourself out of that rut. In your shell, licking your wounds for much too long. You need to trust that there's more out there. If you weren't meant to be here, you wouldn't be here. You know, we all shy away from broken hearts and disappointments through other people that we have in our lives. That's a natural reaction to things that are unpleasant, that feel unpleasant to us, things that feel that all we really know in this life is ourselves. It's individuals. It's how much of life and living do you want to let in, and how deep do you want it to go? How much do you want it to mean to you? We have to take a certain amount of responsibility for ourselves, and we're back to talking what we were talking about last night. The trust factor. There's a trust factor in there as well. It's okay to trust people, but you have to be realistic that they're not joined literally to us, joined to the hip. We're not literally a piece of each other. Some people say, you know, I'm with somebody, and where I end, they begin, and where they begin, I end. That's all sweet and fancy dancy and all that stuff, but that's not being very realistic. Those are the people that get shattered the worst. Too much trust. And then you become bitter and full of hate. And I said this last night, don't ever hate yourself for trusting somebody. But you need to take a certain amount of personal responsibility as well. That the person that you're involved with, or the people you're involved with, in this situation, at the end of the day, you are alone. Okay? Maybe other people wouldn't be as devastated. You will be. There's the bottom line. I'm a real hard task master when it comes to trusting and responsibility. Self-responsibility. I trust people. I have a lot of people, but I know that they're not perfect, and I may expect somebody to come through for me and put 150% into that. No. What I say is if they do, they do, and if they don't, they don't, then I'll take care of this myself in the best way that I can without help from somebody else. Broken hearts, we all have different reasons for our broken hearts, a disillusionment. No two people are the same. For some of you tomorrow, you may be going through brokenheartedness, devastation, and feeling like, I'm so afraid of this pain that I'm feeling. I'm so scared that I can barely breathe. It hurts to breathe. We've all been there, and you think nobody understands you. Nobody knows how you feel. What a horrible, rotten world. That's not the case, my dear. Whoever you are, that spirit is speaking to. With all kindness and love, my dear, you are not the only one to go through heartbreak. To feel such a heartbreak that it is a physical pain you feel physically ill. It's because if that doesn't prove to you right there that our emotions and our physical self are finely tuned and connected, that does it. The body responds to different stressors. And we feel joy and happiness, especially for people like women. When they fall in love, do you remember what that's like? I do. I do. When you think you've met the perfect person, because it's all about how the other person makes you feel, these feelings start to manifest themselves in our physical body. For women, all of a sudden, their hair becomes gorgeous, soft, shiny, manageable, bouncy, and it's full of life. Hair that moves. Who doesn't want hair that moves? We lose weight. We have the pep in our step. We glow. We literally glow. So the body, the physical body responds to that. So it only makes sense, the other side of it, when that's all taken away, when the love's taken away, the trust is taken away. We go into ourselves and we're sick. We're love sick. It's not a good thing. But there's always there's always something bright. There's a balance. And part of that is to learn how strong you really are inside. Don't become bitter. Don't do that. You know what bitterness does? Bitterness is a pill of self-hate, and you will eat yourself up inside over bitterness. And then you project that out. Next thing you know, you're alone, and people will avoid you like the plague because you're just a miserable person to be around. You walk around like you're the only person that's ever had a broken heart, and that's just not true. Just try to remember that. Try to remember that the best you can. And you can find somebody to talk to as well. Go to somebody that you know that won't give you advice because you really don't need advice. I found over the years, I could have hung a shingle out on my front door and called myself the listener. I had a revolving door where people would come in. And my children remember growing up this way, the people that would show up at 3 a.m. knocking on the door, sobbing their heart out because they just found out that their mate didn't want to be with them anymore. They just found out that their mate was having an affair. They just found, you know, they were treated very badly by the person that they adored. Adored, that's a big word. But when they would come in, I'd say tea or coffee. So I'd put the kettle on, I'd turn the coffee maker on, start turning lights on. And they would sit at my kitchen table. I could write a series of books of the people that sat at my kitchen table and cried and spilled their tears over it. And I never gave advice because I didn't want that, and I knew that. All most people want is someone to listen to them so they can get that off their chest and get it out there. To say the words out loud. Sometimes we need to speak our feelings out loud to really decipher them and to kind of like pick through and see. And then the thoughts that we thought we had about a certain situation, a certain breakup, or a certain heartbreak, or a certain person, you go, well, no, that wasn't it about them. They never did anything like that. And I thought that's what that was. And it can lessen the load. Is what I guess is what I'm saying. It can lessen the load. Some of you are going through that tomorrow. And then we have the Knight of Swords. And there's the drama. And that was the first card in the reading. And he stands for our action-driven, a whirlwind of drama, confrontation, unexpected blocks in relationships, arguments. You may have a fight on your hands. You cannot avoid the upheavals that it will bring. On the upside, you know exactly what and whom you are dealing with. The advice is try to avoid the drama. Do not take setbacks personally. It's their fight, not yours. Keyword stress. Stress, unstableness, force, manipulation, immaturity, and instability. These cards are fitting in with this one here. And they fit together. So it goes to show whoever, I'm being nudged to tell some of you, okay, I just got this. For some of you, the blocks, the confrontations, the unexpected blocks in relationship, the arguments, you may have a fight on your hands. All this has nothing to do with you. This has to do with the other person. This has to do with him. Okay? This has to do with him. You know what he is? I'll tell you what he is. I'll tell you what he is. He's the one that is disillusioned. He's the one looking for somebody to take his frustrations out on. He's the one that wants you to leave you feeling the way he does, whoever this is. That's what he wants. He wants you to be despondent, disillusioned. You know what? This person right here that's doing this is doing you a favor. When people get desperate, they show their true colors. Bottom line, they really, really do. All the walls come down, and they do show their true colors. They're doing you a big favor. It may not feel like that right now. I say this a lot. We go through challenges. We go through heartbreak. We go through hard times down the road because we can't see what's coming at us. We survive it. We get through that. We survive the heartbreak. We try to learn from it. We try to not be bitter from it. Down the road, if you find yourself bitter now, guaranteed, that's almost a promise. And it could be 6 months down the road, a year down the road. Things are going to change so drastically that you're going to look back and say, had that not happened, I wouldn't be in this wonderful moment that I find myself in right now. And that's the way life is. That's the way that life works. There's no getting around that at all. And I want to go back and just touch on the Eight of Wands just for one more moment. Then we're going to wrap this up because we're running into, oh dear, 32 minutes out. Okay. This card will often represent the type of cathartic discussion which ends confusion. The Eight of Wands always brings a new surge of energy and freshness when it appears. It often signals entry into a new phase or project, one which stands for a chance of good success. This is easy for me to tell you this, and this is easy for Spirit to tell you. Easy for me to say, I'm not the one going through it. Lord knows I got enough of my own stuff to deal with. Don't think I'm sitting here pretty without a problem in the world. You couldn't be further from the truth. This card, Significator card, lessens the impact of somebody looking for a fight, of somebody looking to take their Hellry out on you and to blame everything on you. It lessens it. It lessens the boredom. Don't ever say that outside. I'm telling you, because the universe will hear it. But it lessens the changes. It could have been worse. All right? You do have a little bit of wiggle room in there for those of you that said, I'm bored. The universe said, oh, really? Let's spice things up a little bit. So, now how you doing? How you doing? Okay, it'll lessen it. It will. This card is bringing good things, despite what we think are not good things. Remember, the universe will bring you what you need as you need it. You're being brought into happier times. And sometimes we got to climb one more mountain. All right? We've got to slam a few more doors. We have to turn our backs a few more times. We have to hold on to our heart and our soul like it's a lifeline. We are the protector, all right, of our own happiness. You have a choice to be happy. So for those of you that are stubborn and you're all rigid in your ways, the A-type personalities maybe, you need to loosen up a little bit. You need to let some stuff go, okay? Cards are saying that. They need to let some stuff go. You need to prioritize, okay? Make a checklist. What is most important to you to get through whatever it is you're going to be going through? These changes are coming up. These changes have been already in place in action before tomorrow arrives. This has been the lead in, the lead up for some of you tomorrow. And I'm seeing only a couple of you that are really going to be impacted largely by this. Okay? For some of you, you're going to start looking for a new job. That's going to push you out of that rut. You won't be using the board word anymore. But some of you, there seems to be, I don't know what it is. You know, I've got 2 decks of cards here. There's 78 cards in each deck. And I only pull 3 from the Oceanic and 1 from Tarot. And all the cards aren't all about heartache and intuition and feeling disillusionment and all these feeling things. They're not all about that. Some of them are pretty specific about specific things. I spent probably 20 minutes here tonight shuffling both decks and cutting them and shuffling and cutting and shuffling because I really like to mash them up good. And for some reason, maybe it's the repeated viewers, and I'm glad that you're here. I love having you here, I do. But for some of you, it's been an emotional roller coaster this spring, and there's been a lot of change, and some of you are finding it hard to put one foot in front of the other. Be kinder to yourself than you are to anybody else, or you're no darn good to anybody. There's self-kindness. Let's say that's your word for tomorrow. Really, you're given the gift of life, and you're on this planet for a reason. You're here for a reason. You were given the gift of life. Don't throw that back in the Creator's face. Talents, use them. The biggest insult to our Creator, whatever it is you believe for being creator, if you don't use your talents, that's the biggest insult. You were given life and you were given talents. You use them, develop them, learn from them, let them take you places like a magic carpet ride. Hop on and see where you're going to end up at. Every move that you make, every breath that you take is going to take you somewhere tomorrow. Somewheres. My dear friends, I could go on and on. I'm feeling those are the messages for tonight that are for tomorrow for all 12 signs of Zodiac on June the 14th. It's actually now June the 14th. I rolled over to 12:05 a.m. And oh my goodness, I feel like I just started. I don't know where the time goes. I really don't. 37 minutes, that's way too long for a daily reading, and I'm very sorry. But if I cut it shorter, then I'm not getting the complete message out from Spirit. So again, please subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more of this. I'm working on tuning it back, but I have a hard time when there's messages coming through. I just will not. I refuse to cut it short. People don't want to stick around that long. It's up to them. But you can always go back and check because the videos stay up online on YouTube on my channel, Bay of Fundy Fortunes. And you can go there and you can review because I don't remove them. So if they disappear, that's YouTube doing that, not me. So tomorrow, Tuesday, June 14th, 2016, another mixed bag. Most of it emotional. Most of it life-changing. That's what life's all about. It needs to change. Why? So we don't get bored. Teasing. From my heart to yours, truly, thank you so much for being here. I hope and hope and hope you come back again. It'll be nice to see you. Please feel free to leave all your comments in the box below as well. More below chit chat. Thank you very much. And have a good night, everybody. Good night.